Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider and that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now today's first story comes from a real son from the Am I the Arsehole and Relationships subreddit, and it says, am I the arsehole for refusing to let my future brother-in-law borrow my grandfather's vintage watch for his wedding, even though it's said to bring good luck? I, 30 male, am engaged to Sarah, 29 female, and our wedding is in 10 months. I have my grandfather's vintage watch, which he wore on his own wedding day. It's a family tradition that the firstborn son wears it on his wedding day for good luck. Since my dad passed away when I was young, the watch came to me and I've always planned to wear it when I get married. My future brother-in-law, Ben, 28 male, is Sarah's younger brother, and he's getting married in 4 months. He knows about the watch and its significance. Recently, he asked if he could borrow the watch for his wedding, arguing that his wedding is first. He should be the one to have the good luck. I told him no, because I want to honor the family tradition and wear it myself. Ben was upset and told Sarah that I'm being selfish. Sarah is caught in the middle. She understands my attachment to the watch, but also feels for her brother. Now her parents are saying I should let Ben wear it first, as it's just a watch and traditions can be flexible. I really value this tradition and the memory of my grandfather. Am I being unreasonable by refusing to let Ben borrow the watch? I had to skim back over that post after I read that because I was thinking, is the watch somehow part of their family? Have I missed something there? But no, it's not. It's a part of OP's family, and the future brother-in-law, is just asked to borrow it because he wants the good luck. Cheeky bloody bastard. The absolute cheek to ask that in the first place is just wild to me. And that's without the rest of the family getting involved and saying that you should hand over the watch. The family that's got nothing to do with this watch in the first place, by the way. And really, I'm not sure why Sarah feels for her brother. Like we keep saying, this watch has nothing to do with him at all. He has no history with the watch. And just makes me think that you're not getting that watch back if you hand it over. But Sarah's only caught in the middle here because she isn't putting her foot down. It's as simple as that really, but Mobius Stripping says not the arsehole. Not Ben's family, not Ben's watch, and not Ben's luck. You have a fiancé problem. She is only caught in the middle because she is not making the very reasonable and simple statement to her own family that they are out of line and this is a hard no. Fire or Water Kai says, can't say it any better than this. Ben has some serious audacity. Pride of Cape Town says, I hope that this watch is in a safe place. With Ben's entitled attitude, the backing of his parents, and Sarah's lack of spine, what the fuck is this feels for her brother and caught in the middle shit? I wouldn't be the least surprised if it disappears. Ambient Ape says, ask them, if it's just a watch, why is it so important to Ben to wear it? You are not the arsehole, and you have many years of fighting your in-laws ahead of you. I'm also a little worried that Sarah isn't 100% on your side. Opie says thanks for the support and the great point. You're right, if it's just a watch to Ben, why is he so set on wearing it? I'm definitely going to ask him that. I'm also a bit concerned Sarah isn't fully backing me, so I'm planning to talk to her soon to make sure she's on my side and we set clear boundaries with her family. Appreciate the heads up about future in-law issues. So OP came in with their first update and said, hey everyone, thanks for the comments on my post. They really got me thinking. I talked to Sarah last night after work about Ben wanting my grandfather's watch and it turned into a massive fight. We figured things out eventually, but it was a rough one. Here's what happened. I started by telling Sarah there's no way Ben's getting the watch. It's my grandfather's, worn on his wedding day, and the tradition is that the firstborn son wears it for good luck. Since my dad passed away when I was young, it's mine and I've always planned to wear it at our wedding in 10 months. I hit her with what some of you suggested. If it's just a watch to Ben, why is he so desperate to wear it for his wedding in 4 months? She got heated, saying Ben's freaking out about his wedding and thinks the good luck will make it perfect. I called that straight up entitled. Ben's got no claim to my family's heirloom and I'm not handing it over. Then I went in on her for not having my back. Like a lot of you pointed out, I said she's only caught in the middle because she won't tell Ben and her parents to back off. Sarah lost it. shouting that I'm forcing her to pick sides, and her parents are blowing up her phone saying I'm being a jerk for clinging to a relic. That set me off. I yelled that it's not a relic. It's all I have left of my dad and grandfather. And if she can't see that, maybe she doesn't care about me. She snapped back that I'm fixated on a stupid tradition and making her family feel like garbage. I told her if we're getting married, she needs to act like my fiancé, not Ben's defender. It got nastier. I said I will lock the watch in a safe because I don't trust her family to misplace it. And she flipped, screaming that I'm calling them thieves. I shouted that I wouldn't have to if she just shut this down from the start. She started crying, saying I'm making her feel like a horrible fiancé, and I wasn't calm. I snapped that she's letting me down by siding with Ben. She grabbed her bag, said she's done with me for now, and stormed out to her friend's place. I was furious, thinking this might be more than just a watch. Late last night, Sarah called, still upset, but calmer. She said she doesn't want to ruin us. I admitted I got too worked up, but I stood by needing her support. She broke down, saying she gets how much the watch means and feels awful for calling it a relic. She promised to tell Ben and her parents it's a hard no when we face them together this weekend. She's coming home today and we agreed to work on talking without blowing up, especially with her family causing trouble. To keep things cool, we're considering getting Ben a nice watch as a wedding gift, so he's got something without touching mine. No, OP, you don't reward this kind of behavior. But Emily says I'd still hide that watch. She still doesn't get it. Opie says it's going in the bank safe. Red Electro says, is this someone you want to marry? There is literally no reason for Ben to wear the watch. Even if it wasn't significant, he doesn't have the right to borrow anything of yours. In quote, she started crying, saying I'm making her feel like a horrible fiancé. And then says, Mom, there's a reason for that. Blazing Sunflower Land says, and it isn't just Ben feeling entitled to the watch. It's his parents going into full attack mode to make Opie hand over the watch to Ben. These are the in-laws he is choosing. Opie, I think you need to put off your wedding for at least a year to make sure your fiancé understands that her parent and brother will destroy your relationship if allowed. I wouldn't buy her brother a watch. That will just teach him to demand things until you cave, and buy him something equivalent. Do not ever reward entitled greed. Never. You will regret starting that type of expectation. What if he wants your car? Will you help him buy his own? What if your house is nicer? Will you help him buy a more expensive one? You and your fiancé need some serious counseling about protecting your relationship from your family's origin, which will mostly be about her needing to set boundaries with her family. She should be the one shutting down both her brother and her parents. Would absolutely not buy him a watch. That would just reward the greedy entitlement. Another commenter says, so she went to her friend for support. Her friend told her she's a fucking idiot, and now she's trying to save face. And my lady that says, do not get married until you two go to counseling and work on how to fight. This marriage is not going to be happy or successful. Neither of you know how to fight, and Opie says I will take this suggestion. Opie came in with a post a few hours later and said, wedding gift for brother-in-law, Reverso or tank. It says, I plan to get my brother-in-law a wedding gift for his wedding in a few months. Was thinking either the JLC Reverso or the Cartier tank. What do you guys think? I never really wear dress watches, so don't know much about the wearing experience of either. Or do you suggest something else? And then added a couple of pictures, but unfortunately they are no longer there. But I just did do a little Google. I put Cartier tank watches, and it's between £3,150 to £21,400, with the Reverso ones being in a similar price bracket as well. I'm just thinking, what the fuck are you doing, OP? But Livid Sloth says, came here from your Am I the Arsehole? Do not get that spoiled son of a bitch a watch. Hand him money in a card and move on. As someone with a similar brother-in-law, these things actually enable the behavior and you'll regret it, like me, in the long run. It's placating his behavior. Say no, stick to your boundaries and move on. Please, there's so much I'll do differently. Ekra says, neither. He doesn't deserve any. Loudfeed says, after all the drama and distress he's caused you, I wouldn't buy him either watch. I'm sorry, but capitulating to his demands, even in this small way, is not the way to go. You're setting a bad precedent for future behavior. OP came in with another update and said, "Hey everyone, thanks for the support on my post about the watch mess. People wanted an update it seems. Here's what went down this weekend when Sarah and I talked to Ben and her parents. On Sunday we sat down at her parents' place for brunch. Ben brought up the watch, saying it'd be a class touch for his big day. I've been thinking a lot about why he wants it. He's well off, got a killer watch collection, all flashy, modern stuff, not vintage like my grandfather's. It doesn't fit him, so I'm guessing it's his way of flexing control, like he's got to one-up me before his wedding. I stood my ground. It's my family's tradition, tied to my dad and grandfather, both gone. It's all I've got left of them, and it's for my wedding." Sarah didn't hesitate and backed me, saying if Ben kept pushing, we'd draw a line. Things got heated. Ben got defensive, saying I was making a fuss over just a watch and ignoring family harmony. He rolled his eyes when I mentioned my dad, which pissed me off. His family finally left brunch, I think fed up with Ben. That seemed to knock some sense to him. He stepped out, they talked, and both came back and apologized. Long story short, we're doing a golf trip in 2 weeks to hash things out. I might be naive, but I'm optimistic. Sarah's parents didn't say much, but her mum mentioned helping with our wedding in 10 months, like I owed them something. That hit wrong, especially since we're signing a prenup to protect their family's assets. I'm no slouch though. I've made something of myself. Sarah was there through my darkest days, addiction, hitting rock bottom, falling apart. Her parents thought she could do better, kept pushing their family piety thing, which probably made her feel stuck in the middle early on. Some of you said I should dump Sarah, but that's not right. We've been together for years and she's been my rock through that mess. I've got screw-ups she's let slide, addiction, some darker stuff. So I'm not going to judge her over one rough patch. We're starting counseling soon, something we both want to keep us solid. We decided not to get Ben a watch. A lot of you pointed out a wedding gift should be for both the bride and groom, and I wasn't thinking straight before. We're leaning towards a honeymoon contribution instead. I'm starting to see clearer. Thank you for everyone for the suggestions and support. I know I'm going against the main suggestion to dump Sarah, but that's not an option at this point. Not without me giving it my all. Because I know she's willing to do the same. Then OP added another post, and I think this one was on the relationships advice subreddit, which was titled "My fiance 26 female and I am 28 male keeps lending money to her family without telling me, and it's causing tension. How can I address this? My fiance 26 female and I 28 male are getting married in a few months, but lately I've been feeling uneasy about her habit of lending money to her family without discussing it with me first. Last year, she lent her brother $500 from my account without asking, and recently she used my credit card to pay $1,500 for her parents' car repair. Each time she apologizes and promises to pay me back. But I feel like this is a breach of trust. We've always agreed to discuss major financial decisions together, especially since we're about to get married. However, she seems to think that since we're family now, helping each other financially is normal, even without prior discussion. I understand that family is important, but I believe in transparency and mutual agreement when it comes to money, especially large sums. How can I approach this conversation with her without making her feel like I'm attacking her family? I want us to be on the same page financially before we tie the knot. To which another cable guy says, "What a huge red flag. Been married for 10 plus years, would not imagine my wife doing something remotely similar without my consent. She's abusing your trust and your wallet. You both cannot allow your family problems to become your own problems." And one more comment from Wook Problems says, "Why'd you want to marry someone who steals from you?" And that's exactly it. OP said it themselves, saying this is a breach of trust. She's taking money from your account to spend on her family, although apparently they're well off as well. Oh, dearie me. Along with the family entitlement, the brother asking for a watch that's a family tradition of yours because he wants the luck or something like that. I mean, let's just face it, he probably just wants the watch. And you likely wouldn't have seen that back in some way. It would have got lost or somewhere along the lines. That is a wild ass family that I gotta say, I wouldn't want to be a part of. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And let's move on to another story. Now, our next story is titled, Husband Wanted to Regift the Anniversary Gift I Bought for Him. My 26 female husband, 31 male, is very specific, so getting a gift for him was always a nightmare. We were together for almost 5 years, married for 2. Our second anniversary was a few days ago. I put so much effort in his gift. He is a die-hard fan of one football club. He really loves it and buys a lot of merch. I was looking for something he doesn't have and found a 3D puzzle set of that club's stadium. It has 200 pieces and it takes 2 to 3 hours to put together. It was expensive as fuck, but I knew he will like it, so I ordered it. I even put my mum's address for delivery, in case he is at home when it arrives, so he doesn't spoil the surprise. I was right. He was happy as a child when he saw it. He told me he would put it together with his nephew, 9 male, who also loves that club. Well, the nephew came today and they were playing with it, talking about the club. Then my husband pulled me aside and asked me if he should give it to his nephew because he liked it. I was like, what the fuck? I told him, do whatever you want, I don't care. But he could see that I was pissed. He didn't regift it, but he promised the kid that he would get him the same. But the little guy didn't ask for it. He didn't even tell us he likes it. After the nephew went home, I told my husband that I put so much effort in his gift when he is a literal nightmare for gifts, that I spend so much time to find him something mindful, and I'm really hurt that he even thought about regifting it to anyone. He got defensive. He told me that he, nephew, is a child and would love to have it, and that I'm massively overreacting. He also thinks I'm emotional because of my pregnancy hormones. I'm 10 weeks pregnant with our second child. I don't think that I'm overreacting because my feelings are really hurt and his actions are shitty. I told him he could offer to buy him another one in the first place. Am I really overreacting, or this is a shitty thing to even think about? Commenter says to OP, that's so ungrateful and thoughtless. I'd be pissed, but at least he asked you first instead of just gifting it. That demonstrates a bit of common sense. It might help in the future to have a discussion about what gifting should be like going forward, given that he's already difficult and didn't seem to appreciate your effort even when you got it right. Does he care about gifts? It might be easier to compromise on giving him only money or food. Opie says, well, it makes the situation kinda better, but I'm still pissed. He likes gifts, but he's kinda difficult. Like he only wears X brand of clothes, only Y perfumes and Z books, etc. So the solution would be to always gift him the same stuff, which I don't like. He doesn't want to take money from me, and when I ask him to try something in the store, he doesn't feel like it. He really liked this one, so I'm even more pissed that he wanted to give it away. Another commenter says, does he want gifts? Does he expect them? I'm really hard to buy for, so my wife knows I don't expect gifts. Don't make me a pie or something that I'll love. No need to put effort into buying me something that I may or may not want anyway. OP says, well, a few months ago, he got a hoodie from his sis. I know he loved it and it fits him like a glove. Later he told me not to wash it because he might regift it to someone else. I was like, why would you do that if you like it? Also, he is big and a tall guy. He doesn't have any friends or family members his size. Like, who are you even going to gift it to? He wears it now, said he would regret it if he gave it to someone else. Freely comes in with a fairly long comment, so skip this part if you want to, but I thought it was a really decent comment. It says, this tells me a lot. First of all, it's obvious you each have a different emotional circuitry around gift giving, which is normal. I grew up in a family that I loved materialism and put our heart and soul into gifts. We also got our sense of worthiness, love, and appreciation from the recipient's reaction. I've felt the devastation of someone regifting something I got them, and it's a horrible feeling for sure. Explore your own emotions and expectations around gifts and keep communicating how you feel to him. And he needs to listen and understand how hurtful it is to you. At the same time, he has his own issues. My spouse came from a poorer culture where most consumer goods simply weren't available. Christmas was an orange and handmade socks, and you liked it. Love was about providing for people and helping each other survive. Cue the marriage drama when they weren't as emotive and dramatic and excited about the gifts I put a lot of thought into, and I received boring, practical gifts that were on sale and reflected their interests and idea of good provision, not mine. After over a decade, we both have deeper introspection, therapy, and better communication, and gifts have no pressure whatsoever. We often don't even give them anymore. But this was a huge shift from my culture of origin, and I had to work through my own feelings of not being appreciated or loved just because we had different expectations. There may be a clue in the fact that he would give away something practical like a sweatshirt that he loved that fit him perfectly. If he's quick to re-gift, he may have underlying feelings of unworthiness. Some people are raised that it is better to give than receive and feel unworthy or selfish if they receive something beyond their habitual class. Subconsciously, they often sabotage efforts that make them feel like they're on the receiving end of charity. He may also have some hang-ups around materialism or having too much stuff. Maybe deep down he feels like he's a child's toy and doesn't want to be seen as a child, but a good adult and father figure. The giver of toys, not the receiver. Same with your mum or sister still buying you clothes when you're a grown-ass man. The best thing is for each of you to reflect on your feelings, convictions, and habits around giving and receiving and their origins, and then share with each other how to define your relationship with gifts on your own terms. Throughout all you learn from your families and friends, and decide how you two specifically want to handle holidays in your relationship. And of course, explore deeper personal issues for which gifts are just the tip of the iceberg. You're young. Those deep issues can end up solving a ton of problems if dealt with at the root. So OP did update the post and says, first of all, I want to thank you for all the constructive comments. It helped me get a new perspective. Also for those guys who called me weird and childish for feeling disrespected. Yeah, your comments are shitty. Now about the update. We talked this morning calmly. I told him how hurt I was when he dismissed my feelings and blamed my pregnancy hormones for them. I explained how I feel when he does that, and I feel underappreciated and that he doesn't care about my feelings. Well, I know he does. He apologized, and I know it was genuine. He also admitted that his comment about my hormones was rude and unnecessary. He promised that he would be more considerate about my feelings. I apologized for telling him he's a nightmare and for being passive-aggressive. He told me it's okay and that he wasn't mad for that. About the gift. Last night he put it together and almost got late to his night shift. He told me he really loves it and he didn't actually want to re-gift it. Then he told me a bit about his upbringing. His mother often re-gifted things they were gifted, even those he actually liked and he hated it. They were not poor, but her policy was, why buy someone's gift when you can re-gift something you got? She gave away his stuff until he moved out. Now he feels guilty when he keeps something, even when he likes it, and he knows why that is happening. Now, I remember the time when his mum stayed with us to help while I was postpartum. She was actually helpful, but she also tried to give away some of our stuff to others, and I was really pissed. Like, what gives you the right to give away my shit? I grew up poor, but my parents never pulled this shit. When we liked something, we kept it. You know those fancy chocolates that are passed around? Well, we ended up eating them. Meanwhile, we don't give gifts to mother-in-law anymore because we know she's going to re-gift them. We just give her money. I told my husband that we will go shopping for his birthday and he will choose his own gift, just to make sure it's something he likes and will actually use. Stadium is now displayed with his other football stuff. Edit. Sorry for not mentioning, but he gave his nephew gifts yesterday. He bought him new shoes because he had good grades and also new shoes for his little sister, who doesn't go to school yet. He also gave him some money for his upcoming school trip. So I don't think giving him a puzzle set was necessary, at least not at the same day. Feisty Thunderhorse says, glad you guys had a calm discussion about it. Sounds like you're both feeling better. Communication always helps when both sides are reasonable and open. Wow, it's like the comments below this one, the amount of people relating to this and, you know, their parents or grandparents giving away their stuff to other people because, air quotes, they don't need it, was just astonishing and really, really sad. It was nice to see in the update that they apologized to each other for their arguments and, you know, they talked a bit about the root of the cause like that comment said. And after that, I can only really wish them all the best going forward and I hope that they continue to deal with it in healthy ways. But what do you guys make of this situation? Have you found yourself in a similar position before? Like I said, the comments below that there were so many. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.